The hardest part of quantum leaping is trusting the new timeline. Trusting and knowing that if you desire something, it's because a parallel timeline version of you is already living that life. And the very fact that you desire it means they're energetically calling you towards it, saying, this is my life. It's possible for you too. What you need to do in order to quantum leap is become aware of the gap between that version of you and you now. There is a gap in identity, there's a gap in beliefs, belief about yourself and about reality, and there's a gap in vibration, meaning how are you feeling on a consistent basis? What is your vibrational set point? And when you match all those things to match the version of you that's living on that timeline, you will quantum jump and you will literally merge with that version of you and you will be living that life. I'm Alyssa, and I remind you that this timeline is optional. People think quantum leaping happens overnight, and it doesn't. The reason why it looks like it happens overnight is because you could right now be in your apartment and the next day meet the love of your life. And by meeting that person, your life is going to change. You just met your soulmate. You're going to marry them, have kids, have a beautiful life. It looked like your life changed overnight. You can meet someone tomorrow that's going to give you your dream job. And you think, wow, my life literally changed overnight. It did not change overnight. There were things that you had to be doing vibrationally. There were things that you had to believe about yourself in reality. There was an identity that you had to already be in for you to even be in the vibrational vicinity of those things happening. That's why quantum leaping work is about shifting your reality, shifting your identity, and shifting your belief systems incrementally until it's a match. If you already were a match for your dream life, if you believed the same things that version of you believed, if you had the same identity and you had their vibrational set point, meaning you felt good about the things that they feel good about on a consistent basis, you would be living that life. You are a vibrational match to your reality, to everything in your reality, the people in your life or the people that aren't in your life, the job in your life, the job that's not in your life, the money in your life, the money that's not in your life. You are a vibrational match to all these things. But the really good news is we can shift those things, but we do it incrementally. When I quantum jumped to this reality that I had been having dreams about, I'd been having dreams about it for a couple years. But in the sense of when my life changed, it seemed like it changed overnight. One phone call to my soulmate, suddenly, we're living together. I have my dream home. I'm living by the beach. I had a different job. All sorts of things happened that seemed really quick. But there was months that I was consciously shifting my beliefs about men, about love, about reality, about abundance, about home life, about friendships. I was consciously raising my vibration on a daily basis because when I was dreaming about this other reality, the version of me I was dreaming about was like really happy. And I'm sitting here in my sad apartment going through a breakup, feeling really depressed and sad all the time. So I was aware of this other reality, but it didn't happen overnight. I had to consciously feel better about myself and my life before reality shifted for me to actually live in that reality. I had to change my identity to believe that I was worthy of being with my soulmate, to believe that I hadn't screwed up. I thought I'd had a number of bad relationships, and at that point it was kind of like, was this it for me? Am I just bad at love? Did I already meet my two soulmates and things didn't work out, because the two guys that I thought were my soulmates before were karmic soulmates? Point being, it had seemed like, oh, I'd already met my soulmates. I fucked it up. I'm just going to have to accept my fate. No, you can change your beliefs. You can change your identity. You can change what you get to have. But you have to do the vibrational work, the identity work, and the belief systems work. So it's going to take a period. Someone asked me recently how long it takes. I said for me, it took a couple months, but it takes as long as it takes for you to get into alignment. How much are you working on shifting your beliefs, your identity, and your vibration? And the main thing actually is in identity, it's choosing to show up as that version of you when nothing has changed. Which brings me back to the point of this whole video. You have to trust the timeline. And trusting the timeline feels harder. It doesn't feel the hardest at the beginning. At the beginning, there is actually a powerful surge. The desire is pulling you towards that reality, and it's really exciting. When you wake up on New Year's and you're gonna change your life, that is like the most exciting time and the easiest time in the process because you believe that everything is possible. But when you've been doing vibrational work, identity work, belief system work, and it looks like nothing's changes, you start to doubt the process and you start to believe that this stuff is even real. And that is, if you stop, when you energetically self-sabotage yourself and kick yourself back into the old reality even if maybe the next day, the next month, the next week, things were going to shift for you. So it's about really believing in trusting the timeline. And part of trusting the timeline is not continuing to look to see if it's manifested yet, because that's not really trusting that you're the new you. You have to continue to show up as that identity, as that version of you with those good feelings, your vibrational set point, with the feelings that you would have when that is your life, even if nothing ever changes. You have to basically tell yourself that this is who I am now. This is my identity. If I'm single forever, I'm going to act like the person that's going to meet their soulmate tomorrow. I'm going to act like the woman that or man that's worthy of love. I'm going to act like somebody, I'm going to show up in the world as lovable, as someone that's with their soulmate, as someone that believes that I get to have what I want. I'm going to show up, act like the healthy person. I'm going to keep going to the gym or eating the healthy foods or going after your dream if it's a work thing and you keep getting rejected. It's the identity. You have to keep showing up as that version of you until reality flips. And the best way you can do that is to actually keep visiting that reality on a daily basis. I say 3 times a day with music. You visit that reality and you just pretend that it's your life for 90 seconds. And you keep visiting that reality, and then you have to let it go, saying, even if this never happens, this is who I am now. And that's actually what reality responds to. Because the universe isn't like punishing you or rewarding you. It's literally mirroring to you who you are being and who you believe yourself to be. But because it has a lag time, we get so frustrated because, and I've been there. This happened right before I got to this reality. When I thought my husband and I were going to start dating, and then, the point is, and then for 10 days it looked like, oh, I was wrong about that. But I had to keep showing up as like, I'm still gonna find my soulmate. I'm still gonna have my dream home. I'm still gonna move to the beach, whether it's this guy or another guy. And that's when things flip. But the point is, like, that reality exists. I've done enough plant medicine ceremonies and had enough weird experiences in my life that I know the reality looks solid. This is just the reality you're in right now. And there are so many things going on different frequencies, different bands of reality. And there are other versions of you living in those different frequencies. And you live in the reality that you're matched to. One of the other parts about trusting the timeline that can be very difficult is letting go of things. Often when you're doing the quantum leaping work and you're trying to get to the new timeline, you get nudges of things that are no longer in alignment with, that are not in alignment with the version of you that you're becoming. So that's one of the steps in quantum leaping, is you have to get clear on the gap between that version of you and this version of you. And there are things that are in your life. They might be relationships. They might be environments you're hanging out in. It might be where you live. It might be your job. It might be foods you're eating, that version of you on the timeline you want to jump to would not have in their life at all. And you start to feel very uncomfortable. Your reality starts to feel, you get more triggered by your current reality because you are aware that it is not matching the version of you that you're becoming. So if you get triggered by your current reality, that's actually a really good sign, because it means you're starting to vibrate out of that reality. You're starting to become more of a match to the reality of the version of you that would not hold on to these things. And one of the steps is letting go of things. And there's been like my 2 biggest quantum leaps. One, I literally went through a divorce, which was very hard because I thought I was going to be alone forever. And then both quantum leaps, I had to let go of friends. One, I had to let go of a job. And you're sitting here like, I feel like I have to let go of this, but what if nothing else comes? But you have to trust that the version of you, whatever you let go of, the universe is going to give you a better version of it. It just might not be right away. And so you're in this void, this uncomfortable feeling where you know you need to let go of something. And sometimes you do let go of things, and then you want to go and grab them back to feel safe because your nervous system is like, what the fuck is going on? But you have to continue moving vibrationally in identity and in belief in yourself that the road is going to open up before you. It's kind of like, was it MLK that said this? Someone said you don't have to see the next, like, you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to see the next steps. Quantum leaping is the same way. Neville talks about this with the bridge of incidents opening up. Like, when you tap into that version of you that's living that life that you want, You'll get messages about what you need to let go of, what things you need to start doing that you're not doing, what beliefs you need to change, ways to raise your frequency. And sometimes you'll just be given like a couple steps and you have to take those steps and more steps will be shown to you. The bridge of incidents opens up, which is basically the thing that takes you from this timeline to that timeline. The bridge of incidents is when you're vibrationally in alignment, things literally show up. Like I said, it might be you going somewhere that you meet your soulmate, you going somewhere and randomly meeting someone who's going to give you your dream job. It's a series of incidents that seems like they came out of nowhere that connect you with that parallel timeline, and they connect you with that timeline in a way that you couldn't have gotten there physically that fast. It happens so fast because it's just like boom, boom, boom. Oh, now I'm in the new reality. Now I have my soulmate. Now I have my dream home. Now I have my career. So trusting the timeline is continuing to show up as the version of you that you want to be, as the version of you that's already living there. And when resistance comes up, you tell yourself, this is the part when I do it anyway. And once you have done that enough times that you start to believe you are that version of you, reality has no choice but to reflect that back to you. Reality is not punishing you. It's not rewarding you. It is literally responding to your vibration. The way that you are feeling on a consistent basis is how your life looks. It's responding to your beliefs. What you believe about yourself and reality, reality is giving you more of that, which is making you believe more of that. And it is responding to your identity, your self-concept. Neville would call it law of assumption. What do you assume? You are the type of person who has their soulmate, has their dream job, is super hot, is super healthy, has a lot of money. When you really believe your identity is a certain way, the universe believes it too and reflects it back to you. If there's something you desire, it's because a parallel timeline version of you is already living it. And it wants you to live it too. It's literally calling you forward, saying, my life is so good. Match my vibration, my identity, and my belief systems, and you can jump too. And just keep trusting the timeline. I'm here with you. This timeline is optional. Much love.